Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zarani Agustin. I'm from class PBSC. In this video, I will read an article about everyday life in the Soviet Union, the shopping runaround. The author Hendrik Smith was head of the New York Times office in Moscow from 1971 to 1974. The following passage is adapted from Mr. Smith's book, The Russians, which was published in 1976 by Querejil or the New York Times Book Company. First, I had heard about customers' shortage before going to Moscow, but only when we began to shop there did the Russian consumers' problems really have meaning for me. Customers the world over wait in the lines, but Soviet lines have a special quality all their own. Typically, the Soviet woman spends 2 hours a day in line, 7 days a week. Personally, I have known of people who stood in line 90 minutes to buy 4 pineapples and 3 hours to buy the left heads of chippies only to find the chippies were gone as they approached the front of the line. Lines can run from a few yards to nearly a mile. Some friends of ours watched a line of people in Moscow Sydney up to buy rugs. The line lasts 2 days and nights and ran for across all due an apartment development. 2. In spite of all of this, the natural reaction of a Russian woman when she sees a line forming is to get in it immediately, even before she knows what is being sold. However, Soviet lines are more fluid than they appear. In most stories, for example, shoppers must stand in not one but their lines for any purchase. The first, to select a purchase and find out its price. The second, to pay a cashier somewhere else in the store and get a receipt. And the third, to go pick up the purchase and turn in the receipt. 3. But in diary store on morning, I found out that the game is both simpler and more complex than that. I went in to buy some cheese, butter, and Bulgar sauce, which were in 3 separate departments, each with its own line, 9 lines. 4. Rather quickly do I noticed that experienced shoppers were skipping the first stage. They knew what most items cost, so they went directly to the cashier for the receipts. After studying prices, I did that too. Then I went to the cheese line, the longest, probably 20 people. To get the worst over with first, I was in line less than a minute when the woman in front of me asked me to hold her place. She darted off to the butter and milk line. The cheese line was moving so slowly that she got her butter and milk and returned it before we had advanced 3 feet. I decided to try to race too, and I got back with my butter while the cheese line still inching along. 5. When instantly a crowd to meet it all over the store. People were getting into line, holding places, laying, returning. Everyone was using the cheese line as home base. That was why it was barely moving. It kept expanding in the middle. So I got the man behind me to hold my place, and I went off to buy my Bulgana. Once again, it worked. It took me 22 minutes to buy butter, sauce, and cheese, but instead of being furious, I felt as if I had beaten the system. 6. This competitive shopping gives us an atmosphere of tension to Russian life. People bed into stores and bump into each other with packets incombative experience. You have to understand, said a kind, gray-haired person, that for as long as we can remember, shopping has been a struggle. Life is a struggle. 7. There is hardly any effective advertising to help shoppers. Americans complain about the constant commercials in the United States, but they might reconsider if they were exposed to the customers' blackout in Russia. A typical Soviet ad might be, if you want to be live, to rip old age and be beautiful, most do and truthful drink tea. Most newspapers publish without ads. The paper has no handy yellow page or daily newspaper, supermarket or department store ads to help her decide where to stop. 8. Bribery is with spread low paid $80 to $20 monthly. Sales clearly take a portions of attractive items and sell them secretly to regular customers who have either left a bribe in advance or can be counted on to pay a high price on the delivery. 10 to 15 rubles on the 60 ruble raincoat is standard. Or in 1976, the rubles was equivalent to $132. 9. So come on, is this practice that the Soviet press is always complaining about it, but it doesn't do any good. Crocodile, the Soviet Homer magazine, once saw a department store employee promoting some newly arrived items. Dear customer, in the latest goods department, 500 imported women purses have been received. 450 of them have been bought by store employees. 49 are under the counter and have been ordered in advance for friends. One purse is in display window. We invite you to the Lear department to buy this purse. I think that's all. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.